Good morning, boys and girls. How are you? First, we will do quick revision for Table 4. To memorize the table, you have to write it many times in your copybook. Now repeat after me. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4, 16. 4 times 5, 20. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 8, 32. 4 times 9, 36. 4 times 10, 40. My heroes, let's solve. Find the product. 4 times 6. Amazing. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 6, 24. 4 times 9. Amazing. 36. 4 times 9, 36. 4 times 9, 36. 4 times 3 is excellent. 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 8. Excellent. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 8 is 32. Now let's memorize table 5. Also, you have to write it many times. Repeat after me. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 9 is 45. 5 times 10 is 50. Be quickly and solve. 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 4 is 5 times 4 is 20. Amazing. 20. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 8 is 40. Our new lesson for today is talking about divide regions into equal parts. In this lesson, students will understand the fractions and identify equal parts. Let's understand the fractions. It's very easy. My heroes, listen to me. In any fraction, the number that's written up is called numerator. Numerator. And the number that's written down is called denominator. Denominator. Between them you will find the fractional bar. Now we have a family of 5. 2 adults and 3 kids. What if we need to write the fraction for the adults? Count the number of adults that you have. Excellent. We have got 2. So we have to write up 2. The number we should write up is called numerator. The numerator is the number of the parts or the number of the adults. We have got 2, so we have to write 2 up. Now we should write down the whole number. The whole number here is 5, so we should write down 5, and the fraction will be 2 over 5. Now we should write the fractions that represent the kids. Look at the kids. How many kids do you see? Amazing, there are 3. So we have to write 3 up as a numerator. Now look down. Down we should write the whole number. The whole number here is 5, so we should write 5 and the fraction should be 3 over 5. My sweeties, look at the delicious pizza. The whole parts of the pizza are 6. What if someone will come to eat 2 parts of the pizza? Now we need to write the fraction. The numerator of the fraction tells us how many parts are taken from the whole. How many parts are taken? There are 2, so we have to write up 2 over the whole. The whole parts are 6, so the fraction should be 2 over 6. Only equal parts of a shape can be represented by a fraction. Look at the picture. In your right hand, you will find unequal parts. We cannot find a fraction for these parts because they are unequal. Can you tell me why the fractions in number 1 and 3 are not correct? Look at the star in number 1 and you will find that it's divided into 2 parts, but they aren't equal. So, the fraction is not true. I told you that. Unequal parts are not represented by a fraction. So, we cannot write a fraction for that. Also look at number 3. The circle is divided into 4 parts, but they aren't equal. So we cannot write a fraction for that. But look at number 2 now, and you will find that it's divided into 3 equal parts. And we have 2 shaded parts, so we have to write up 2, numerator is 2, and down, denominator is 3. 3 is the whole number of parts. The word fraction is used to name an equal part of a whole. Now we have a bar of a chocolate and we have 4 friends. They need equal parts. we have to cut the chocolate into 4 equal parts. So all the parts are 4. Now each one will take 1 part. So each one will take 1 of 4 or 1 over 4. Remember that 1 is called numerator and 4 is called denominator. Also, you should know that the fraction of 1 part is called a unit fraction. A unit fraction. Draw lines to divide the shape into 4 equal parts. Then, write the fraction that represents 1 part. Look at the shape down. I need to divide it into 4 equal parts, but how can I know the number of small squares in each part? You can count the total number of squares and you will find 16 divided by the number of equal parts. It's 4. So 16 divided by 4 equals, amazing, 4. So we have to put 4 in each part. Now divide the shape. You have many ways to divide it into 4 equal parts, but you should have 4 small squares in each part. After dividing, you should write the fraction that represents 1 part. So we have 1 part. We have to write 1 over all the parts 4. So 1 over 4. And this called a unit fraction. This called a unit fraction.
The essential understanding for this lesson is: a unit fraction represents one part of a whole that has been divided into equal parts. A fraction can represent multiple copies of a unit fraction. Previously, students explored how a shape can be divided into equal-sized shares, or portions of a whole. They also used unit squares to find the area of a shape. In this lesson, students divide shapes into equal parts and write unit fractions to represent each of the parts. This problem is key because students use what they know about dividing shapes to divide an irregular shape into 3 equal parts. Then, they write the fraction that names each of the equal parts. Listen and look for students who see that the shape is made up of 3 same-size rows. So, they draw 2 horizontal lines to divide the shape into 3 rows of 4 unit squares each. Then, they write the fraction 1/3 to show that each row is one of 3 equal parts of the whole shape. Listen and look for other students who count the total number of unit squares and divide by the number of equal parts to find that each equal part should contain 4 unit squares. Then, they draw lines that divide the shape into 3 equal parts that have 4 unit squares in each. They write the fraction 1/3 to show that each part is one of 3 equal parts of the whole shape. Have students who divided the shape in different ways compare their work. Help them see that a whole can be divided into equal parts in different ways, and that the equal parts do not have to have the same shape. All of these students show an understanding of a unit fraction as a fraction that represents one part of a whole that has been divided into equal parts. This understanding will help them represent more than one equal part of a whole as multiple copies of a unit fraction.
Now write the shaded fraction of each shape below. I need the fraction of the shaded parts. So, look at the first question. Count the number of the shaded parts or the dark parts. Excellent. It's 1. And down write all the parts. All the parts are amazing. 3. So we should write 1 of 3. 1 is the numerator and 3 is the denominator. Can you tell me, is it a unit fraction or not? Amazing! It's a unit fraction because it represents 1 part. Now look at question 2. How many shaded parts do you have? Amazing! 1. Down all the parts. Count all the parts. Excellent! There are 8. So the fraction is 1 of 8. Can you tell me, is it a unit fraction or not? Amazing! It's a unit fraction. Now look at number 3. Count the number of the shaded parts and tell me. Amazing! There are 3. Now down we should write all the parts. Can you tell me how many parts do you have in number 3? Amazing! There are 5. So we should write 3 over 5. Can you tell me, is it a unit fraction? Amazing! It's not a unit fraction. Now look at number 4. Can you count the shaded parts? Excellent! Only 1 over all the parts. Amazing! There are 2. So the fraction should be 1 over 2 or half. Can you tell me, is it a unit fraction or not? Excellent! It's a unit fraction. Now look at number 5. How many shaded parts? Excellent, there are 2. And all the parts are, and there are 3. So the fraction should be 2 over 3. Is it a unit fraction? Excellent. No, it's not a unit fraction. Finally, number 6. How many shaded parts do you have? Excellent. Only 1 over all the parts they are. Excellent. 6. So the fraction should be 1 over 6, and you have to say by yourself that it's a unit fraction. Now open page 954 and follow me. My heroes, look at your book. Divide a whole into halves. What fraction can you write to represent 1/2 of a whole? First, we have to know the meaning of the fraction. A fraction is an equal part of a whole. Now we need to make halves. We have a grid and we have to cut it into 2 equal parts. Remember that. We have 12 small squares. If we will divide them into two parts, each part should have 6 unit squares. Each part is made up of 6 unit squares. Both parts have equal areas. Now, each part is 1/2. The fraction can be written as 1/2. Also, you should know that 1/2 is a unit fraction. A unit fraction represents one of the equal parts. Remember that the number above the fractional bar is called numerator, and the number below the fractional bar is called denominator. The denominator shows the total number of the parts, and the numerator shows the number of equal parts represented by that fraction. Now look at the question down. Divide the grid at the right into thirds. Label each third using a unit fraction. Explain how you know which fraction to write. Listen to me. Look at the grid at the right and you will find that you have 9 unit squares. We need to divide the shape into 3 parts, so we have to say 9 divided by 3 equals. Think about it. What multiply 3 equals 9? Amazing, 3. So we should have 3 square units in each part. Now divide the shape into 3 parts with 3 in each. After that, write the unit fraction below. Can you tell me the fraction of one part? Amazing, 1/3. You should write down for each part 1/3. Now explain how you knew which fraction to write. I know that the whole is divided into 3 parts, right? So 3 is the denominator. Each part is 1/3, so the numerator is 1. Now open page 955 and follow me. Sweeties, are you ready? Let's start. Look at question number 1. In the example on page 954, explain how you know the two parts are equal. Look at page 954. Look at the example up. We have got two parts and each half is made up of 6 units, up 6 and down 6, so they are equal. In 2 and 3, tell if it shows equal or unequal parts. If the parts are equal, label one of the parts using a unit fraction. Look at question number 2. Do you have equal parts? Excellent. Yes, they are equal parts. Can you say the unit fraction or the fraction that represents one part? Amazing. 1/6, because we have 6 parts in all. Now look at question number 3. Ask yourself, do you have equal parts? Amazing. No, they aren't equal. We have unequal. So we cannot write a fraction for that. Now look at question number 4. Draw a rectangle that is divided into fours, then write a fraction that represents one part. Now in the grid, you have to draw a rectangle with four parts because we have to make fours. So we have to draw four equal parts. In any way, draw a rectangle with four equal parts. And the unit fraction should be excellent, 1 over 4. In 5 till 7, tell if each shows equal or unequal parts. If the parts are equal, name them. Look at question number 5. Do you have equal parts? How can you know? Count the smallest squares. Do you have the same number of squares in the parts? Amazing! It's not equal. We have unequal parts. We cannot write a fraction for that. Look at question number 6. Do you have equal parts? Amazing, yes. We have equal parts. Can you say the unit fraction or the fraction of one part? Amazing. 1 over 2. Now question number 7. Do you have equal parts? With your eyes, you can say. Excellent. We have equal parts. Can you say the unit fraction or the fraction that represents one part? Amazing. 1 over 3. In 8 and 9, draw lines to divide the shape into the given number of equal parts. Then, write the fraction that represents one equal part. Look at question number 8. We have a shape and we need to make 3 equal parts. You have many ways to do this, but you should know first how many squares in one part. How can I know this? Count all the squares in the shape. You will find them 18 and say 18 divided by 3 equals amazing 6. So we should have 6 small squares in each part. Now divide it with any way you want. After dividing, write the unit fraction. Now the fraction will be amazing 1 over 3 because we have 3 parts in all. Now look at question number 9. You have to divide the shape into 8 equal parts. Like before, look at the shape and count the smallest squares. Can you tell me how many small squares? Amazing, there are 16. So we have to divide 16 by 8. Can you divide 16 by 8 and say 16 divided by 8 equals? Amazing! 2. So we should have 2 squares in each part. Divide the shape in any way, but you should have 2 squares in each part. Now we have 8 parts. Can you say the unit fraction or the fraction that represents one part? Amazing! 1 over 8 parts. Now open page 956 and follow me. My heroes. In 10 till 13, use the table of flags. Look at the table at the right and you will find flags of different nations. We have got Mauritius, Nigeria, and Poland, and Seychelles. Question number 10. Which nation's flag is 1 over 3 white? Look at the flags at the table. Search for one with 3 parts, one of them white. I need 3 parts, not 2. Which flag? Amazing! It's Nigeria. Now look at question 11. What fraction represents the red part of the Poland's flag? Look at the flag in the table and tell me what is the fraction of the red part. Amazing! 1 over 2, or half. We have got one red part over 2 parts. Now question number 12. Which nation's flag doesn't have equal parts? With your eyes, look at the flag and check. Which one doesn't have equal parts? Amazing! The Seychelles. Now question 13. Which nation's flag is 1 over 4 green? I need 4 equal parts, one of them green. Which one? Think about it. Is it Nigeria? No, it's only 3. I need 4. It's amazing, Mauritius. Finally, thank you for listening and I hope you enjoy it and I hope to see you soon. Here is the answer key for page 954. Here is the answer key for page 955. Here is the answer key for page 956.